Good afternoon. I'm Gloria Nelson with TUG, and it's my pleasure to welcome everyone today to the TUG Connects 365 programming. Before we get started, and as you settle in, I just want to take a moment to give a brief introduction to TUG, the usergroup.org, for both our current as well as our guest people who are here today that have not yet joined our Infor Distribution software users. Now, knowledge is power, and I can say that after today, you're going to have a little bit more of both. And that is just something that TUG excels at. Also, one of the things that I would like to share with you is that forums and online content such as this and our live events are going to allow you to work smarter and with more confidence. And who doesn't think that that's a powerful and winning combination? If you have not yet joined TUG, it really pays to look into membership, because your individual company membership allows you to invite one person or 100 people or 1,000 people, if that's how many users you have of the software in your organization, all for one low membership fee. So 2,300 heads are better than one, without a doubt. And so what I would like to now do is to just say, it is my pleasure to introduce Daryl Ziegelman, CTO of CentralData, who's going to present to you on CD Ship. Daryl, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Gloria. I really appreciate you guys giving us your time today. And let's just start by talking openly. What's your favorite activity to do to distract yourself during COVID that's not work? Jump into the chat and let's get started. Let's start talking about, some things that, keep you active right now. And Gloria, I can't figure out how to get to the chat at this point, so I don't.
If everyone wants to open up their chat bubble, we're going to be using chat for interactive conversation with one another, with each other, where you're going to answer Daryl's question. And also, if you have a question itself, please open your Q&A bubble, because that allows you to like a question that's posed, maybe one that you would be asking yourself. And if we have multiple questions that formulate there, by liking the question, it will allow you to upvote it and bubble that right to the top. I don't see any responses yet from our online attendees.
All right, nobody's ready to jump in. So, mine is to run. I'm a runner. I've run a couple of half marathons, and I try to run to keep myself distracted, to get myself out of the house, out of the basement, which I've been in since March 12th, when we came right back from the TUG Connects this year. So just looking for what other people might be doing. I see some chats, yoga, running, stuff outside, staying sane. Those are all good. Thanks for sharing. Appreciate it. Queen's Gambit on Netflix. Oh my God, that show. My wife and I are watching the last one tonight. It's phenomenal. If you haven't seen Queen's Gambit on Netflix, that's fantastic.
And so yours truly is a total Disney nerd right here. So if anybody's coming down my way in Orlando, hit me up. I'm your non-paying plaid VIP tour guide. So
awesome.
Without further ado, we have 23 that are logged on right now, Daryl. So I'm going to say, go ahead and hit it.
All right, so let's talk about an agenda. So want to talk about why CentralData developed CD Ship, what the features and benefits are of the solution, what our product roadmap is, what we're looking to do beyond where we are today, show you a demo of the software, which is where I'm going to spend most of my time. And then we'll talk, finally about what the implementation and the subscription, the software costs kind of look like for that software. So why do we want to develop CD Ship? So a lot of the customers out there are shipping parcel packages today. They don't need a full manifesting system. They needed a parcel shipping solution. And so we started with an integration with UPS WorldShip. With the latest version, we added FedEx. So it's compatible. It's an integration with those shipping solution, with WorldShip, the UPS software, with FedEx PowerShip Manager. So it's not designed to be a manifesting system. It's designed to be the interface with those manifesting systems and to communicate in real time with SX.e / CloudSuite Distribution. So it's fully integrated with CloudSuite Distribution as well as SX.e version 11. Now we do have previous versions, but we're really focused today on CD Ship version 4, which is for version 11. If you are on premise, we do require the API. So if you're CSD, you get the API, but if you're on premise, you do require the API. We can both ship and unship orders. We'll ship transfers. This is only WebUI CSD that we're really talking about today, and quick time to value. So that's a big thing. People want to be able to do this kind of thing quickly, get it up and running. This takes very little time and effort out there to get things working. This solution is very lightweight and plugs in and is ready to go in a very short amount of time, a day or a day and a half's worth of work at most, to train you and get you going. As you know, if you've used SX.e, the only way to populate the package tab is really to have an integrated shipping solution. So that's one of the reasons why we want to get involved here. On our roadmap at this point, we really don't have, we knocked down a lot of things with CD ship version 4. We added, FedEx, we added the install shield, we added a tracking number in order inquiry, and now our next thing is going to be TWL. So we will look at TWL in our short time period. So Gloria, we're at the point where I want to bring up our first poll, if you can do that. So just want to know, what methods are you using to ship packages out of your business? So you can pick one or multiple answers: UPS, FedEx, both of them, others. Just multiple choice, pick one of those things. Let's get that poll, just kind of get some answers, what people are using to ship packages today out of their building in SX.e or CSD. How are you doing that? Are you shipping them? I mean, I know a lot of people deliver, and sometimes you deliver and you think, oh gosh, I don't ship any packages. But even if you ship 100 a week, that's still a lot of packages to manage and maintain. So just want to get a sense of what carriers you're using. So Gloria, do we have a sense of where we are with the poll?
Yeah, we had almost a 70% response, and there are your results. If you'd like to share those audibly with our viewers and listeners.
I'm trying to figure out how do I get to that? Sorry for the
technical challenge. No worries. I'll be happy to do that for you, Daryl, because it's probably
Thanks.
very behind your screen. My pleasure. The results are, with the methods for shipping, we have, let's see here, 18% are using UPS, another 18% using FedEx. The overall overwhelming response is 58% are using both, and also 63% are using other methods of shipping.
Wow, okay.
I think that with regard to those that are using another method, can you just please drop in chat what other method you're using? If it's a local shipping service, if you're more local, if you're on a national level, if you're using something else, that will be helpful for us to know.
Yeah, and that's probably a lot of LTL. We see a lot of LTL carriers, people doing LTL today more than ever before. Speedy seems to be, that might be something we get added to the roadmap. And USPS, I saw that as well. That's something, I'm going to take a look at both those things, because we've had some requests on Speedy and USPS as well. So be looking at that on a roadmap as well. And I also see.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you seeing that chat bubble up?
Yes, I have.
Go ahead. Take it away.
So I see using fax. So we do have a different interface for fax. So I can reach out to you, Bob, if you want to send me an individual email. I have the email at the end, so we can give you some information on that. LTL is an interesting one. What we try to get out of, what we're trying to get away from here was recreating a manifesting system. There's some good ones out there. We tend towards Starship. I know Infor has Logicor. There's some other ones out there, and didn't want to recreate that wheel. So we're trying to just focus on the small parcel, try to get those tracking numbers into SX.e, and specifically so we could get them to e-commerce. E-commerce is a big reason, because people, when they go to the e-commerce solution, whatever that e-commerce solutions, we have our enterprise store solution, they want to be able to see the tracking number. Where's my stuff? So we need to get those tracking numbers back into the system in some way. So it's good to have a methodology to do that. And you're just shipping packages. Gosh, this is a pretty simple method. So I'm just going to jump in now and get out of PowerPoint and get into software, because that's always much more fun. So we'll jump into the software. So CSD here is what I'm using. You could use SX.e as well. So I'll go ahead and I'll place a pretty simple order here. Put one line on the order. We'll add that here. Click finish. And we'll print our picking ticket. And the cloud is a little slower, probably because of the Zoom. And now I'm going to print my pick ticket. I'm going to go now over to my shipping station. So I'm in my shipping station, and I've got CD ship fired up over here. And it gives me some choices. First of all, what shipping method I'm using. So UPS WorldShip or FedEx Ship Manager. Is it a sales order or warehouse transfer? Which company are you using in the system? And I'm going to change this over to company 150, because that's the company I need to put. And we have 1001579-00. Now, before I hit go, you'll see on the right is UPS WorldShip. So that's your normal shipping station. And I've gone over here to import, export to the key to import. And you see the import key in the far right corner. So what's going to happen is when I say go here, when I say ship, it's going to fill in that import key on the bottom. And then it's going to fill in the address information in there for my order. Now it tries to run end of day. If I run end of day, the UPS is going to show up at my dock, and my office manager is going to be really mad at me that I have shipped about 14 or so boxes out of the building. She's not going to be liking that. Now, normally what you do with that, yes. So the question was, can you set default shipping solution? Yes. So yes, by shipping station, you can set it to be FedEx for one, and UPS for the other, and then you can always change. That's why we made it a checkbox in this version of the software. So if anybody had used a previous version, you might have seen that we didn't really even have those options before. So you would then weigh the package, you go ahead and process it. This is just standard WorldShip stuff. It's then going to produce my label. So I'll go ahead and I'll produce that label for me. And if I look, we'll see that the label got produced out here. There's my UPS ground label. And then if I go back to CSD and I pull up order inquiry and do my search here, we will see that that order is now shipped in CSD. The package tracking information is filled in. And actually, one of the nice things we added as a feature is this is a active link. And so I can click on that tracking number. It will go right out to UPS, fill in my tracking number for me. So I don't have to copy it or copy the URL, which I can always do, but it's supplements that. If I go onto the totals page, you see that I have my actual freight, and then the freight outbound, it uses the ARSB record, so it does up the cost of the freight at this point, so I can charge more if I want to. Now, if I go back over to WorldShip here and I decide, hey, I'm going to void that last shipment, it's going to pull up shipments that are out there. I'm going to look at this guy for C&M Supply, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to void that shipment. It's going to tell me over the left here, this has been voided. If I go back over here to CloudSuite Distribution and hit refresh, yeah, if you didn't know, there's a new refresh button in CloudSuite Distribution in order inquiry, so you don't have to put in the order and hit search and do all that. This is now in pick stage. The package tracking information is gone. And on my totals page, that should clear out the actual freight as well. So all of that gets cleared out as if it never shipped. So that's basically how an order ships with UPS WorldShip. We also have the transfer functionality. So if I want to transfer product from one warehouse to the other, I can go ahead and I can enter a WT in here. And we'll switch over to line item entry. I was thinking, should I add this stuff in advance? But I thought, no, I don't want this to seem like smoke and mirrors. So I'll go ahead and just show you the full scale of information. We'll go back over here to the shipping station, and we'll change over to transfers here. So we change from sales order to transfer, and we enter 373-00. That's my transfer order. We'll go ahead and mark that for shipping. It's going to fill it in here. Bring up the fact that I'm shipping it to from Colorado to my Colorado Springs building. So sadly, I heard the Colorado Springs office has closed. For those of you who remember the Next Trend building there in Garden of the Gods, it is closed up. Everybody's working from home and they're just not going back apparently. So Julie and friends are at home now. So I went ahead and I shipped that warehouse transfer. So if I come back over here to WTIT and look up that transfer, we'll see in this case, the order is shipped. And then the package information is there. And, you know, I've got the freight. Now, keep in mind that that transfer is now shipped. So that processed the general ledger as well. But we cannot unship it. So you can't void a transfer. So if you had shipped and your sale gets canceled, you protect the order from being deleted if you show it shipped, even though it's really only a stage of label creation when the UPS picks it up and scan it, or when you run WorldShip end of day, it's not truly shipped. So if you void in WorldShip, it's voiding it, it's putting it back in pick stage in order stage, Bob. So you will not, you'll then have to reship the order again. You'll have to reship that order again in WorldShip in order to get it to go through, because otherwise in WorldShip it's not a valid package to go through at that point. Hopefully that answers your question. Mark asked what setups required in WorldShip. So there is a mapping exercise where you set up the map from what data is coming from CloudSuite Distribution into WorldShip, and then we're turning around in a map back to CSD. How's the data coming back there? Now, we cannot void a warehouse transfer. As you guys know, warehouse transfers cannot be voided because you cannot undo a warehouse transfer. But there is one thing I want to mention, and this is really important while I have you guys on the phone today. There is a new, there's a change in how the API works, because this, as I told you, this requires an API. There was a change in the API. So in GUI, when we shipped a warehouse transfer direct, it was shipped and received, but the API that we're using now does not receive that warehouse transfer direct. That, for some reason, that API is flagged as no, don't receive it. So please, please, please go out and endorse enhancement request 64668. This enhancement request will flip the flag so that by default, warehouse transfers direct are shipped and received in one step. I have a client who's very unhappy because they're shipping the warehouse transfers through CD ship, and then they're having to manually receive them, which they never had to do before. But because we're using the standard API, excuse me, it's causing this problem. Again, 64668. So please go out and endorse the enhancement request. That's in another plug for the ERS system. So Gloria, I want you, if you can, bring up our second poll at this point before we talk about FedEx. So just wanted to know, what's the average number of packages are you shipping a day? Is it 0 to 100? Is it 100 to 1,000? Is it over 1,000 packages a day? How are you, what's your volume look like of packages in your system? Because volume really dictates, as I said, even if you ship only 100 packages, even a week, automated manifesting is a good thing. It's something that people are always looking to incorporate in their system. So just look at something to be aware of. So Gloria, how are we doing with the answers there?
We have 60% that have voted. I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. And I know that you've got some screens that are buried. So let me just share the results.
Yeah.
The average number of packages per day, 36% are 0 to 100, 50% are 100 to 1,000, and 14% of our online respondents said that they have over 1,000 parcels per day.
Wow.
The
All
other,
right.
the other thing, Daryl, I wanted to ask you is there are a couple of things that have populated in the chat discussion.
Yep.
Bob had a couple of questions earlier, and I just wanted to make sure that his last one that he posted with regard to label creation using UPS, just take a moment if you can, if you've not answered that yet, if you can, that would be great.
And I think I answered that, so let me know, Bob, if I didn't. But also, the 28,000 packages a day, Bob, that's huge volume. But I would tell you that there's not a specific limit in how CD ship can work. So, we don't license it that way. Whatever your volume is, if that's what you're running through the system, excellent. So I want to touch the other side of the house here, which is FedEx. So let's go in, and it's going to look very, very similar. We're going to go ahead and ship to my favorite friend, C&M Supply in Denver, Colorado. So we're going to ship it to FedEx is a choice of shipping method. So again, this is not a full manifesting system. So we're not rate shopping. We're looking at, hey, we want to ship through one shipping solution or another. We're just trying to get small packages out the door, right? So that's what at the end of the day, what we're trying to get done here. We'll go ahead and we'll print our picking ticket, submit that, and then we'll come back over here to our shipping station. Now I'll minimize UPS WorldShip. FedEx looks a little bit different, obviously. So here we'll come in and we'll say, hey, we're switching over to FedEx Ship Manager. We made this pretty simple. We'll put in our order number 100158-00. That's this lookup that we have here. It's tied to the FedEx Ship Manager. So it will go ahead and it will put in the information. And it asked me for the weight, just like it did in WorldShip.
On the NOAA site, shows you.
Hello?
Oh, we're all here.
I had some echo. That was weird. So I would pick one of these. I want to pick ground. And we'll go ahead and we'll mark it ship. And I think it's going to ask me one. So I have to tell it how it's shipping. So I'll say it's billing the sender. And if there are account numbers, you can put the account numbers in the system. So you can, if somebody gives you their account number, you can put it in the system. So that is populated accordingly. So now we'll produce that label. So there's my FedEx label versus my UPS label. I know there's a question out there. Hang on one second, and I'll just pull this up real quickly. So we'll do a search. And that order is now shipped. And if I look over here, the package information, we'll see that the package information is out there. And again, the tracking numbers are populated accordingly. And the freight amount is populated the same way UPS WorldShip. Now, I will tell you, we're having some issue with FedEx itself, the company, with the void. So we are working on that. We should have an answer here pretty quickly, but I cannot show you the void today because their API does not facilitate the void. So we're having some issue there. Francis, so can we change the ship via directly in CD ship instead of going to CSD? If yes, does the new ship via get updated in CSD? Yes, yes. So if you pick a different ship via in CD ship, it will update the ship via in CSD, and that's part of that mapping exercise that we go through as part of implementing CD ship. Okay. All right. So thank you, Gloria, for facilitating all those questions. So that's really the functionality of the software. We went through that. So just to let you know, we break down this solution very simply. It's a 3-year term, billed annually. It's a subscription. So we bill for 1 station, 2 to 3 stations, or more than 3 stations. That's how the pricing works for this. We don't want to make it very complicated. We want to make it really simple. From there, we have our installation. It's 2 to 3 hours per shipping station, depending on if you just have UPS, you have FedEx, or you have both. It's 2 to 3 hours for the extensions and 1 to 2 hours of training and setup, depending on how many shipping stations. For most people, if there's 1 shipping station, they just have us do the work. If you have 50 shipping stations, we usually do the work on the first couple, and then the person there runs off and does all the work from there. So, it's a lot of collaboration in that regard. Yeah, so is it available in the cloud? So this is for the cloud. The extensions are installed in CSD. The shipping station is usually a PC on site at your location. So that's going to be, where we have to install the CD ship actual software, because it will be wherever you have installed, Francis, wherever you have installed the actual WorldShip or FedEx PowerShip Manager, wherever you have that installed, that's where we're going to install CD ship itself, besides the extension that communicates between the 2 systems. Okay, hope that answers that question. All right, so Gloria, we don't have any other questions in either the chat or the Q&A. So I think I answered most of those. I will put up my contact information. So if you have additional questions or concerns or want to, pursue this a little bit further, please contact myself, Daryl Ziegelman, or Shane Doyle. His is a little bit simpler, Shane@CentralData.com. Mine is a little bit longer to remember, a little bit of alphabet soup there. D Ziegelman@CentralData.com. But either of us can help you with figuring out how this can work for you.
Well, Daryl, what can I say? You are a consummate professional with regard to doing this kind of content. We always love having you. Special thanks to you for being here and presenting about CD ship today. And also, I wanted to just remind everyone that you can go ahead, and if you want to revisit anything, the recording is typically up and available the next business day. In this case, with Friday, you can look for it no later than Monday. Also, be sure to continue this discussion in any of your forum boards to share best practices and things, or if you've seen something coming on. Whoops, Francis has one more question here. What about integration with other shippers? The other category.
So at this point, we've only integrated to UPS WorldShip and FedEx PowerShip Manager. We had a couple of requests in the chat along the way for USPS and Speedy. I will put those on the roadmap. We will look at those as long-term solutions. If there are other ones that you're thinking about and you want to just email me some suggestions, I'm glad to look at that. Again, we're going to really look at small packages with this. And they gotta have their own manifesting system, because that's the key piece. What we don't want to do is create our own manifesting system like yellow or something like that. We want, at that point, there's too many other solutions out there, like I say, like Starship or Clippership or Logicor, all have the ability to manifest multiple carriers in it. We're not trying to create with them. Oh, okay, so Pure Later. Okay, so we could definitely let's have a further conversation. If you want to reach out to me, I would be glad to talk with you about, you know, the ability to do that, because that would be great if we could get into Canada as well with that.
And Daryl, the only other one, and I don't know, I didn't hear a shout out when you were looking at the results that I wanted to bring to your attention, is I saw Blackhawk came up as well. I don't know what
I've
percent.
never even heard of that.
I have not either, but I wanted to make sure that that was not a missed little tidbit on your.
Yeah, thanks.
You're very welcome. And Francis, thanks for being so engaged. Thank you to everyone.
Yeah.
Bob, you've been fabulous. We love having these questions. Again, this will be available on the next business day in our recorded content on our newly designed website, by the way, I might add. And also, before we conclude today and wrap things up, I want to let you know that Unilink is going to be doing a presentation on Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time about EDI. So make sure that if that impacts you, that you tune in and join us. Otherwise, other than Daryl looking very dramatic today with his backdrop, doesn't he look very Orson Welles-ish, by the way? All I want to say is thanks everyone for joining us today. And as they say in Hollywood, that's a wrap.
Thanks, Gloria.